You've all been studying Moses in church school, right? Yeah. Okay. It's not a test, but can somebody tell me in general kind of like what Moses is famous for? Hunter, how about you? What about 10 Commandments? That's one thing. What's another thing? Sean?
Freeing the Jews from Egypt.
Yeah, because they were slaves, right? Did you know that some people, including children in the world, are slaves today? It still happens. I was reading that in the Central African Republic, a whole lot of children had been captured by soldiers and basically enslaved to fight in a war that they did not choose, or to live as slaves to the army. And you know who their Moses was who freed them from slavery? It was an organization called Unicef, which was organized by the United Nations working together to make life better for poor children and poor communities around the world. Unicef freed 1,000 of these child soldiers. Also, after the Israelites left Egypt, when they were no longer slaves, they were wandering in foreign lands. That's what we call today refugees. People who, because of some dire emergency, had to leave the place where they lived and seek a new home somewhere else. So refugees are part of our faith tradition. And many times in the Bible, you hear God reminding his people, you were refugees. You were strangers in a foreign land, so you have to welcome the stranger. Well, UNICEF is doing that kind of God's work too, working with refugees from the war in Syria, making sure that in the temporary places where they're staying, that they have clean water to drink and school for the children and people to talk to about their fears, because when you've been through something terrible like being driven out of your homeland by a war, you need to talk to people sometimes. And so UNICEF is doing a lot of God's work. UNICEF is doing a lot of the things that you hear Jesus telling people to do, telling us to do, like giving food to people that are hungry, giving water to people that are thirsty, taking care of people that are sick, including people with the very frightening illness Ebola that you may have heard of if you listen to the news. And I'm here to ask you guys to be part of all this good work by trick-or-treating for UNICEF this Halloween, which I know many of you have done before. And I have UNICEF boxes, and I guess I'll head to the church school for a minute and give these out and sign people up. And on the last Sunday of Halloween, to celebrate our Trick or Treat for UNICEF campaign, where we raise money for all this good work, I would like you to wear costumes to church to celebrate. Thank you very much.